Remember the HBO stuff? And, I mean, it's like, that's it. The kid knew. So as I watch Saquon Barkley, the first thing I always think about is the New York Giants. Overpaid for Daniel Jones. Now they're stuck. There was just a great quarterback draft. Not interested. Now you go into a bad quarterback draft and cross your fingers you get the one great player, Shedeur Sanders. So it's just, people, and I'm, the Dolphins did this a little bit with Wes Welker, letting him go to the Patriots, but Wes Welker became a star with Tom Brady. He wasn't a superstar. Saquon Barkley was arguably the first or second best back in the league after Christian McCaffrey. And so you start looking at who the teams that are drafting at the top of the draft this year. We show that chart about once a week. We update you on the draft order. It's all self-inflicted wounds. The Giants are all self-inflicted. They did the two things you can't do. Paid an average quarterback, below average quarterback, massive money, and they let Saquon Barkley go. I can't watch him and not think of the New York Giants. There's a quote here. He goes, I want to be a Giant for life. I mentioned that I want to be in the likes of Tiki and Michael Strahan and Eli Manning. And you let him go to the Eagles. That is Lamar Jackson. Baltimore's like, we like him. He's very expensive. And he goes to the Steelers. He's a good guy. Saquon, and it was a weird game that the Eagles pulled away late with a couple of his runs. Here's Saquon.
Just knowing, you're right there. You're so close. You're so close. And there's some games sometimes where you're so close, you don't get the opportunity to bust open and break it through. The most important thing to do is win football games, and we put ourselves in position to do that. We got to do a better job of executing all around. And when the plays are need to be made, we got to make those plays, and we have those guys to do that in this locker room.
By the way, when a great player tells you, I want to be on this team for life, and is willing to say it publicly, believe him. I mean, how in the world can you not afford your best player? It's like, to a lesser degree, the Jets firing Robert Saleh. He's your best coach on the staff. The defense has gotten worse. The offense is worse. The Jets and the Giants are bad because of the Jets and the Giants. It's so poorly run, so many mistakes. I cannot watch Saquon Barkley and not think to myself, that's Lamar going to the Steelers.
Okay, let's talk about this. I got some thoughts. Let's break this down. There's a few issues I have with this. First off, let's pray. Howie Roseman and the Eagles deserve praise because nobody was going out. There was not this big bidding war with Saquon Barkley. There was a lot of people that said Saquon Barkley is overrated. He only had one good year with the Giants. It's not going to fix the Eagles' problems. That was, without a shadow of a doubt, a very common take. I would say that it probably was like 60-40, 70-30 anti-Saquon Barkley. Anti-Saquon Barkley. I really do feel I broke down the clips. We all know famously Nick Wright ripping him and saying he only really had one good year. This isn't going to do anything. And now he's having a better year than he ever did with the New York Giants. And I think Colin was probably pro Saquon and stuff like that. I do. So this isn't necessarily directed towards Colin or anything. But again, on a lot of the shows, this was not a universally praised decision. The two backs were Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. And both were like, is Derrick Henry really going to help the Ravens? And yeah, Saquon Barkley, right? Like, they were like, these are like not in their prime. They're overpaying him. Because they were like, that's what they said. They said the Eagles have bucked the trend that they're now paying a ton of money for a running back. I mean, that's what they said. Dan Graziano, I did a whole clip about it. And everybody was like nodding their head, yeah. And I was like, Saquon Barkley's going to ball out. What are we talking about? It's hard for a running back to overcome a bad offensive line, a bad quarterback, and no weapons. When defenses can just put all their attention on Saquon, like, what do you want him to do? And I said, how are they going to stop Saquon when you have Jalen Hurts? When you have a great O-line? When you have AJ, Devontae, Dallas Goedert? Now you have Kellen Moore. Like, of course it's going to be great. And of course it's great. That's why John Middlecoff was like, anyone with a brain could see that this was a great move. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there don't have brains. And like I said, I'm pretty positive Colin was pro Saquon, as so was J-Mac. But again, like I said, they were the rarity. It was not a common take. It wasn't. So let's not act like this was like an obvious decision, because it was. I mean, again, it's obvious if you know what you're talking about and you understand football. But like, think about the other teams. The Dallas Cowboys didn't go out and get him. The Houston Texans didn't go out and get him. Chicago Bears didn't go out and get him. Kansas City Chiefs didn't go out and get him. I mean, they had Pacheco, so they don't need that. But like, there was a million teams that didn't go out to them. Name one team that wouldn't be better with Saquon right now. Name one team. You can't. I mean, he's had a bye, and yet he's still leading the league in I forget, like scrimmage yards, touchdowns. I forget what it is now. But I mean, the dude's been an absolute beast. And then surprise Saquon is carrying the offense. One, there should be no surprise. Two, I take issue with this idea of carrying the offense. This offense is designed to highlight Saquon Barkley and to elevate Saquon Barkley. This is what I said in my previous Eagles video. Is Travis Kelce carrying the Chiefs? Or the defense carrying the Chiefs? Is Derrick Henry carrying the Ravens? Did Christian McCaffrey carry the 49ers? These are big pieces of their teams. And so Saquon Barkley is a huge piece for his team, the Philadelphia Eagles. So we got to be careful with the wording here. But this should not be a surprise. And it's just, again, it was really funny. I just remember vividly. I did the clip before the season ever started. Dan Graziano was like, yeah, they overpaid for Saquon. It's not really like a good look. Like, if you really look at his numbers, he hasn't really been that good for New York. Are we really expecting this to help the Philadelphia Eagles? Was the problem with the Eagles last year that they didn't have a running back? Swift was a really good running back. I was like, okay, whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. I mean, it's just, it's comical at this point that you could doubt such a great player. And this idea, right, that they overpaid him, what's it, like $26 million guaranteed, 13 a year or something? And it's like, you would pay this level of production, you would pay $30 million. You would absolutely pay if you had to, if that was what the rate was. What would you rather have right now? Brandon Ayuk or Saquon Barkley? Waddle, Saquon. Tyreek Hill, Saquon. Who's playing better? Who is having a more significantly greater impact for their team? Who? Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, or some of these other big-time wide receivers? The answer is obvious. I mean, it can't even be argued. It really can't. It really can't. And that's why I love what John Middlecoff kept saying. He said this like a few weeks ago, like Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, like those contracts are the best deals. I mean, like those are discounts for the production that you're getting. I mean, that is literally, Saquon Barkley right now is worth more than what other quarterbacks are doing for their teams. I mean, again, it can't be disputed. It really can't. So it was obviously the smart move. It was obviously money well spent. And it was, and again, don't let anyone gaslight you. People questioned this move. They questioned the amount of money that it was going to take for Saquon. And what the awesome thing is, too, is like you can tell that Saquon Barkley is an awesome person, man. He's a great person. He's so excited and so grateful to be with Philly. I mean, like, how do you not want that guy to represent your franchise? It's why the owner of the Giants was like, he's so popular, I'll be sick to my stomach. And it's true. I mean, think about how many times we give the bag to people who are just not good people, who are not good leaders, who cause problems. Yeah, they have production on the field, and at the end of the day, that is what it's about. But it's about everything. It's about how are you as a teammate? Are you a leader? When things are getting a little rocky, do you help keep the team connected? Or do you hop on a podcast and call out your owner and coach? Do you call out the fans? Like, all of it matters. It's all connected. So you can see that Saquon Barkley is not just a Philadelphia Eagles player or teammate. He's a family member. And he knows that. And that's why it was so funny when some of the Giants, like Barber and stuff, was like, if you go to Philly, that's a disgrace. That's unforgivable. And I was like, bro, that is such a low class, low IQ statement to make. What are you talking about? What is this? The 1920s? You got to pick a family? You never go against the family. The Giants have done nothing but do Saquon wrong. And he's going to go to Philly, a place that he has roots to, a team that will support him, that is well run, will pay him the money, and you're going to try to make him feel guilty for that, or try to rally New York Giants fans to hate him for that? Man, get out of here with that nonsense. You're a man. You're a grown man. You're going to make those types of comments. Again, make no mistake about it. People, this was not a universally loved and accepted decision. This was not seen as a guaranteed home run. And now that it is, now that it's a grand slam, they're like, well, yeah, this was obvious. I can't believe the Giants did this. The credit and the praise goes to Saquon and the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon for wanting to go to Philly and making the hard decision, because it is a hard decision. You will feel that pressure to not go to Philly, and knows, hey, I spent my whole career in New York. By going to Philly, I'm going to lose a lot of love there now. He knows that, and that means something to these players for sure. And the Eagles for saying, hey, we won Saquon, we're going to have to pay for him. We have to see past the nonsense of everything that happened in New York. We trust our evaluation and not the decision of this franchise that, quite frankly, has been just a big nothing burger for the last, decade or so, maybe longer. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles? Are you surprised that he's carrying the offense, and about just the acquisition and how it's kind of shaped up? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.